There is testing. There is DevOps. Any other parts that you want me to cover, folks? Then I want to show you each of these parts. Testing, there might be some DevOps work. Design, yeah, I think we can combine with front end. Gemini anti-gravity will cover that. Front end database, sure, we can combine backend plus database. Planning, okay, specifications and planning, like doing the work that PMs do. Specs plus planning plus prioritization, triage of bugs, etc. Architecture, system design. Okay, and before testing, there is also code review. There we have code quality, code smells, message queues, etc. Yeah, that will come with backend. Jobs, queues, management of queues. All right. Yeah, DevOps, some CI/CD, and then DevOps. All right. So this is roughly we have a rough map. Of course, we can keep going deeper and deeper, but let's take a very good overview of how AI can impact in almost all of these places. I'm going to start with specs and planning and triage. All right. One of the things that it has, AI has done in this place is there was this word that was thrown around. In fact, still is thrown around in startup world, at least a lot, and in general in the tech world. Everybody said that, that they are interested in it. They said they were doing it, but no one was doing it until now. And have you heard of this word called prototyping or prototypes? Have you heard this term? Those of you who heard this term, tell me the honest truth, okay? Honest truth. Have you ever genuinely spent time in building POC or prototype? Proof of concept or prototype? Okay. If you only heard people talk about it, but never, got around building it, can you put a no in the chat as well so we know the ratio? Many years ago, okay. No, okay. Yes, no, okay. I don't know about you folks, in my companies, there were never enough engineers to spare to build prototypes. So people maybe build prototypes in Figma, but nobody built high fidelity, detailed prototypes. Okay. Like actual code prototypes, right? Most people, like designers, did prototypes maybe at best, but I would call them not really prototypes, right? They're not true prototypes. They're more stitched together mock-ups. And now you can genuinely create prototypes super fast. I already showed you how I can get, not 1, 2 home pages without knowing how to code in 5 minutes. Not even a human being can write code this fast, right? And I can build very good prototypes. For example, in Claude itself, I can ask it, can you make me a simple markdown note taker as an interactive prototype? Okay, literally asking it. And in a couple of minutes, it will be ready. And I can make 10, 20 of them. I can share it with my team. And instead of talking about, hey, I have an idea where I'm trying to explain the idea, we, at least in my team, now send links to each other of prototype. I can copy my, colleague's prototype and modify it and send it back and say, what about we do this differently? How about we do this differently? So now teams, and especially non-engineering teams, are writing a lot of code for sure and building a ton of prototypes. Okay. For example, sales team will build one. Hey, this is what we want to sell. It will go, and then suddenly marketing team will take it over and go like, hey, we have this idea and this is how we would want to modify it. Then design team jumps in and goes like, hey, let us just clean it up. And then all of these are combined together, and various options are seen, maybe, and you finally take it in front of customers and try something without even building. And all of this is evolving. Ideas are evolving and getting tested without involvement from engineering team, and only when it gets verified, do we ship it to engineering team. In fact, when it comes to specs, we have stopped shipping a lot of specs to the engineering team and started shipping a lot of specs with prototypes to the engineering team as well. And this has fundamentally changed the way we work. All of us work and collaborate, right? And this will be ready in a couple of seconds, and I want to show you. How is it different from using agents like Idea Coach from Microsoft Copilot? I'm not sure. I've not tried Idea Coach, but I'm guessing there are a ton of tools out there to do it. I just do animations with AI. That's a great, you can always pick a small part or a large part of the work. I built this, but I don't know how to link it with backend. To work, but I can show you some advanced techniques. All right, this one is ready, so we have to create a select one. Okay, there you have to select new, and now I can start writing. This is a note. This is what I am writing, and I can add a new note, and maybe I can try some formatting. Bold, list item 1, list item 2, and see if it works. Yeah, there you go. It works. We can also do italic words. Maybe that will work. There you go. It works. And before I know it, I have a note-taking app. Of course, it will not get saved. It doesn't have a backend, but it's a good prototype, right? And that is where I want to start. That we can do a lot of prototypes, and it's fairly fast to do. And you can start with very basics ones that don't save, that are not functional, and then make them more powerful. Front end and design happens in parallel, right? One of the immediate versions of front end and design part that you saw is this. You can see, I can have a variety of options. Right now, I can copy this and ask it to make a blue version, a green version, a different font. All of those design options it can handle. And I'll show you in a bit of what level of design you can get from it. And in fact, let me show you right away. And show you the example of what you can do when you combine prototyping, front-end design, and back-end. When you combine all of these three parts, you basically start to have an app. It's basically an app. It's not reviewed, it's not tested, it's not deployed. But if you do back-end, front-end specs, you have an app. For these, for vibe coder people, special apps were created. You would have heard of Emergent, Lovable, all these kind of apps. And of course, engineers would want to build it on their local system. Anti-gravity cursor now is being used by both coders and non-coders. So why not? I start a lot of my prototypes in Lovable. There's Emergent, there is Bolt, I think there is Replit. There's a ton of them. I want to quickly show you an example on Lovable. This is we ran into some private. Okay, so I wanted to a project-based tracker for myself where I'm thinking about different projects and just tracking where it is at. And I built it just by prompting the AI here. This was entirely AI prompted on Lovable. And very similar prompts. Let it load so I can show you that it actually works. Because here, if I refresh, my data will go away. Let's try. And I refreshed it. Remember, I had notes here. Oh, it still has it. Crazy. I don't know where. I think it's storing it in local storage. But, if I open it somewhere else or send it to somebody else, it will go away. 1 second, folks. All right. And here, I have a Kanban board. These are my projects. Okay. For example, this is a project where I'm building a note-taking app. And here I can keep a track of my task. Or I can add a new task. All right. And this one, there you go. It got added right there. This has the actual backend and database. And I didn't have to do much about it. I just asked it to connect with it, with the database, which is inbuilt in Lovable. Once I'm happy, I can take the code and build and attach my own backend and attach my own database. I'll give you a quick example of what that looks like. I don't know why this is popping up. There you go. I have a database right here. And here you can see I have projects. These are the 2 projects that you would have seen on my dashboard. They will appear here as well. Database, those of you who don't know, is like a Excel sheet where you're storing all of the stuff. For example, you remember Mimi, it's right here. And I have tasks, which are right here. The latest one will be on the top that I just added in front of you folks. So all of this is getting stored right here. Okay, there you go. The last one, just added this now, is right there. So, and I didn't have to write a single line of code. This is a working app. And first thing, I can take it to my GitHub. I can just click here and come on, open up. All right, this is decided to get frozen. Let me refresh it. Which database you have used here? Here, Lovable has their own database, setup, etc. They have it right here. I will bring them back in a bit. All right, looks like we have it right here. And what I can do is click on here and click on the GitHub part. And usually I've already signed in. Usually I just, connect. And now this is on my GitHub. I can take the code and continue on my cursor or continue anywhere and connect my own database. There you go. All the instructions are right here, how to set it up, how to connect the backend, how the project structure is. And suddenly I have, actual working app to get started, kickstart. There's a lot of advanced, functionality that I can definitely add. That you can add search. You can, in fact, I build ChatGPT-like apps also, on Lovables. There's no end to what you can build here. I don't know why Lovable is hanging today. Can we download the Lovable database files? I think they allow you to export it, yes. How to give properly formatted prompt for UI design? Are there any standard formats for the task like deleting tables, implement, modify, design, etc.? Almost every word you say except vowels, new to me, sir. Any suggestions? Ask AI to translate that for you and it will help. But largely speaking, those of you are completely new. To give you a rough idea, front end is largely design, the UI part that you see. Backend has to do a lot with storing data, storing files, and a lot of the logic of the app, right? The rest of it, like, you can, DevOps is like hosting the website, publishing the website, and the app that you have. The other parts you can learn over time, but these are started, right? And by the way, places like Lovable also host the website for you, host the app for you. So if I want, I can actually publish this, website, and it will become available. The issue is it will become so I have to obviously added login layer by the way as well. What I have done is already copied this over onto my code base. I've copied the code base, and I will now ask, what I've done is can ask Claude on my system to run the code, and I want to see the same app running on. So now, things will get a little more serious, and those of you who are completely new to code, don't worry about it. You will get into it. And this is now is the time I really want to introduce these open code. Are you folks ready? Would you folks like to see this? Awesome. Only 2 yeses I see. A little, some more yeses will help. Let's see some excitement. Awesome. So, just by the way, Chat GPT Codex is available right here on browser also. Come on, open up. We can use them here, or we can use them in the app. For example, this is Claude app, and here I have code right here on the top. If I click here, I can get started with stuff. For example, I can open the app that we were just working on, that I was just showing you. Its name is Milestone Flow. Already set it up, and now it is open here as a special project. How do I know? Because I can see the Milestone Flow folder right here, and I can ask it to make certain changes, right? But first, let's see if it works or doesn't work. I asked AI to set it up for me, and according to it, it's running on localhost port. This one. Let's see if it works. And there you go. I am right now running this on my laptop. An app I created on Lovable. And all I did is I opened Claude and I asked it to, can you set this up for me? For example, let me show you what that session looked like. I think it's not stored here. Okay. How many of you are comfortable with terminal? With terminal? Yes, no? Should we open terminal? Because I am super fast in terminal. You folks are comfortable with terminal? Okay. Because this app is fine. I'll show you how to do whatever I'm doing on terminal here as well. But I'm just faster there. By the way, Claude has a nice, cute mascot right here in the corner. All right. Can you see? Like it does stuff. It'll do stuff. Anthropic can be very, very annoying, except for some cute things it does. And let's see, how that pans. Here I have terminal, and before I open terminal, let me just show its face to everybody. I know many people will get super uncomfortable and confused. Think of this as messaging app for your computer. I'm just sending messages, okay? And it just tells me when it does stuff. For example, I want the same Claude to be, running on my computer in this folder. So all I do is just write Claude and ask Claude to come up. And you can see, welcome back. This is Opus 4.6. And now I can ask Claude to do things and it will just do it for me. For example, right here, I was chatting with Claude and I said, can you set up this project? I did not even type project properly, project or something. And then I asked it, can you run it on port 333? And it did. Just literally two prompts and it did the job. But let's do something crazier. I was telling you, Claude is really good at design. So we can clear this up. Fresh slate. And let's ask Claude to do something in design. What would you like to change about this design? And I want to show you how I prompt the AI and how I can contain its change color of each bucket. Yeah. Can you give each Kanban? In fact, I'm not even going to type. I'm going to show you my favorite way of prompting AI to write code. This is a voice recorder. You will get Whisperflow, a ton of them. I forget this app's name. There are a ton of them. They'll record my voice and turn it to English, there once I'm done. Okay, Claude, ignore the previous part I was just, introducing. I want you to do some design changes to the app. I want you to look at, in the Kanban, there are 4 columns: to do, doing, blocked, and done. I want you to subtly color code them so the cards and the backgrounds have slight color coding. I also want you to change the way we use colors on the tags that show projects and not use dots there because that looks like status. Just give it an overall badge color And at the same time, just make sure, like, the agent, let me know if agent functionality works, and if it needs some additional work. But yeah, make those design changes first. And I can stop it. There you go. Whatever I was speaking, it became text. And I just send it to Claude. Convert Whisper Flow, yeah, a day theme, day mode. Okay, we can ask it to do that as well later on. But let's see how it works on this one. While it does this job, I have another similar window open where I'm working on a website or a landing page. Here I give it a bunch more instructions. I tell it, this is a new project, which rarely happens. Rarely people start a new project. But here I gave it instruction, use TypeScript, use Tailwind, use ChatCN, whatever your preferred stack is, you can get it started. And it is saying that my website is running on 3001. I don't know if it will run there. I will ask it to change, run it on. It's just a website I asked it to build, and it built me a website. It's so much fun to work on two agents in parallel. This is usually what is happening. This is Claude and Claude Code. Codex comes in an app also, and their app is slightly less daunting and does not require terminal. Kind of works pretty fast without terminal as well. And I am going to just bring that in. This is Codex app. This is what it looks like ChatGPT. I will add my project here, and I can click this button to add my project, use an existing folder. And we are on milestone flow. So I can open it right here. And now I can ask, GPT model to, do something and make changes to the backend, etc. And for example, let's say I want to deploy it, I want to release it. I want to actually use it on, I can ask it to make a plan on how should we do that. I want to take this app live. What all would we need for that? Can I put it on Vercel? How would DB work? What would we need to make it secure? And you will see this thing called plan. I can in fact show you. If I go here, I get an option to plan mode. Now Claude Code also has plan mode, and this is the most underrated piece according to me, and especially when you want to write serious software with AI. Plan mode is essential. I spend a ton of my time on plan mode. Till I'm happy with each part of the plan, I don't ask it to work because I'll have to throw it away if I'm unhappy with it. So I'm going to switch on the plan mode, and I'm going to just send it off. During plan mode, it will not modify the files. It will only read and prepare the plan. And I can either accept the plan once it's done, or I can ask it for changes. And I usually ask for 10, 15 changes up to before I accept any plan or agree to it. All right, this one says we are running on this. This is another website, by the way. Just mind you, this is second app that I'm opening in parallel. I asked Claude to build me a website, so it's building me a website. I didn't say about what. There you go, build something amazing today and get started. Now I want to show you my quick trick on how do you get exact changes, because I can show this here, I can demonstrate this here. The title specification that you make, it's all about specs. It's all about very clean specs. And if you can write clean specs, you can actually make it. Now, either I would suggest, you sit down and write it yourself, or, I would suggest just blabber it to AI. One thing you don't want to do, or actually, let me ask you, you want to write spec here and this design looks boring. I want to improve it. In fact, I made it with Claude. It doesn't even look like I made it with Claude. What will be your instinct? What would you do if you wanted to now prompt the AI to improve the design of this page? What would you do? Claude Code is included in Claude Pro. Yes. How many ports do we have on localhost? you can, as far as I know, you can create as many ports as you like. I mean, eventually there's a limit, but you will not run out of it. How can we keep one app website at a time? It gets confusing. Sure, I can keep one app and website at a time. So first look at this one, and then I will ask you about that one. Can you see the colors are changed, folks? Can you see the colors in the background are changed? Can you see the Munshi and this part is changed? This was the original design. That is not changed. See how these sections work, and look at these. And it changed the design. Somebody wanted white mode, so let's ask it for light mode. Okay, I'm going to ask it, can you turn this, can you give an option for light mode, add a switch for it using an icon on the top header. All right. Meanwhile, Codex is asking me, how should I take the app live? This is a new feature in AI, apps where they ask you questions, which is really helpful because they don't make assumptions, and I can hover to understand. Okay, only you or invited users can sign in faster than secure. I'm asking two different AI agents to make changes on the same repo. Eventually, they will not like each other, but we can push them a little bit, definitely. This one is adding light mode. This one is preparing how to publish this. And this is the plan. So this is the plan it has. I will usually read through this plan, and I would usually try to understand what is going on and what it wants. And I will usually go like no and ask for changes in the plan, right? So I will, for example, say, have you seen Vercel? And here is an interesting bit. These are all skills and plugins that you can attach. On Codex, you can go and find plugins on this sidebar. There's so many plugins. Many of them can help you launch a website, for example, Vercel, and some of them can help you do security review. There are a ton of them. For example, this can help you connect with Supabase, and you can install your own or find skills. Skills are like special documentation. You can think about it where you don't want to keep pinging and downloading documentation. So you can, encapsulate it into a skill, and it makes it easier for your AI to use it. Remind me towards the end, I will demonstrate the power of skill to you folks. So let's go back to what we were talking to it about. And I will say, check Vercel, for this is Vercel deploy. I have Vercel deploy here. So I will just say, check, have you seen and related skills? I'm just asking it like, check it out, then make the final plan, etc. It's not accepting edits right now. We might have to restart it. Okay, this one is still working. Okay, both the prompts are gone. I think we might have the light mode. Let's check it out. There you go. Light and dark mode implemented right in front of our eyes. I didn't even have to look at the code, and this is the original one. So you just saw, I can very similarly ask it to change functionality. I can ask it to, continue to build this app, and we are anyway preparing on how to take it live, right? And this is all happening using, AI. And you can see my prompts are not special. In fact, I'm very carefully prompting the same way I would talk to my, colleague. And I'll tell you why I'm doing that specifically. And we'll talk about the biggest mistake people make when prompting AI, which is they make it super, confusing. So it says there's a relevant Vercel deploy skill says, okay, it's giving me some instructions. Plan needs the security work before I would recommend. Okay, plan security work. I'm just reading this. It needs security work. So I'm just saying plan security work. All right. By the way, right now, as we speak, it's opening the page and checking actually, to make sure everything is working fine, which is part of my instructions. Now, imagine, you want certain instructions, it to write certain quality of code.
certain level of code, because you will have style guides, you will have certain things that you do not want your AI to write, certain security practices, loopholes, or in general guidelines around a specific software. In fact, I don't know about you, I've started to write these guidelines for AI directly, because I know my engineering team will also be using AI. They're not going to read the guidelines themselves. So I now write the guidelines for the AI. So the AI reminds the engineer, hey, by the way, I don't think we should do that here. Okay. Security plan, it has some security plan ready. It is asking me for some API keys that I would definitely have to find and add. So for now, I will ask it, okay, work on it. And all I did is just accept it. And now it has permissions to write code, and it'll get started. I can definitely now go to Git and push these changes, and they will become live on Lovable, and I can continue to work on Lovable as well. It's kind of crazy, how much you can work in parallel. So this is one app that I was showing you how, I can get to backend, front end, etc. So I've shown you these three parts for sure. When it comes to queues, I want to show you, and by the way, you can make desktop and mobile apps as well. For example, I have one desktop app running right here, which I was working on, which I built using AI once again. This is an AI meeting recorder. It records meetings, does transcription, and then takes notes. So I can just click record. All right. And I can just, of course, it like always shows the wrong date. That is a bug I have to fix for sure. But we have it recording right now. And of course, animation can get better. And whatever I'm saying, hopefully it will transition that and make that into a note. This app was again built using AI. And of course, I'm using Swift and, packages, Sidecar, along with Electron to make this work. Let's see if this works for us. This app is transcribing right now. You can ignore that it's usually wrong. There you go. This is what I was speaking. Electron to make this app work. So, and I can hear myself back again. All right. And I can just, and this works via a queue, and there's a background queue via multiple services using API, keys, etc., and completely locally stored and encrypted, etc., and the API key stored in keychain. All of that I built using AI, and you can do the same with mobile apps, Android apps, even console apps, etc. It's kind of crazy, what all is possible. So just now we saw, not only front-end design, but fully functional apps. We built an app on Lovable and got it here. And now I am also showing you how we are preparing for, code for production. Don't take this as a full demo, because I would spend far more time on code quality, security issues, etc. But just to give you an idea that it can do code review as well. For example, there are special skills for code review, and you can make your own with your own guidelines, which will do code reviews for you. Here are some skills. If you're looking for more skills, you can go to this amazing website called skill.sh, and I'm sharing that link in the chat with you. You can find more skills here. By the way, it added a login layer. I don't even know what login, is required. I'll have to check with Codex what is going on. It definitely added a login layer. It is this one who added a login page. And I will ask it. It's asking me for login, but what is the login? All right, I don't know which one it is. I can try sign up. Maybe it will work. All right, sign in fail, invalid like credentials. Crazy. We'll wait for it to finish so we can ask it. Okay, while this app gets ready, and we try to publish it, I want to show you folks code reviews, etc. But before I get there, very important part on how I get the outcomes that I want from here. Coming back to this is a simple website. You want to design it. Okay. You want to change the design of it. By the way, this is skill.sh. Ton of skills you can find here. But coming back to this one, you want to prompt it and improve everything about it. How would you prompt this AI? What will be your immediate next step? Any idea? Any ideas, folks? How would you do it? Give it a reference by prompting. Yeah, but how would you prompt? Would you write the prompt yourself? Okay. How many of you know about this? Is called steering AI or guiding AI. Okay. This is what you need to get the outcomes that you want. How many of you know about this thing called agents.md or claude.md? If you heard that, say yes in the chat. Or which one have you heard? If you've not heard it, say no in the chat. I want to know. Will ask AI to give prompt as per the requirement. Somebody said. Okay. Okay. So what you can do is every project code is in a folder, right? And in that code base, you can add your own guidelines. This is my code base. This is a bunch of code written by me and AI. Okay. All of these files in the sidebar. Here you will see agents.md right here, right here. And if I open that, this is for the app, this app where I was, recording notes. You can see I have given some instructions. The tech stack is Electron app, views bun, and not, PNPM, etc. Use Zord for schemas, Shadcn component, Tailwind. This is the project structure and how I wanted to structure. Then there are some rules. Do not write code that hides error. Do not create new folders. One of my very, very important instructions that I give, I think it's not here in front end. How is that possible? Did I miss that? That is crazy. Usually, whenever I'm getting it to write front end code, and React code specifically, I will write never use effect. Its usage is forbidden without explicit permission ask. Okay. Those of you using use effect to do API calls, you really need to read React, documentation again. But here I have written, this entire thing, and this is what it follows. I can tell it how to do integrations, what code patterns I wanted to follow, and I can add a lot. Every agentic AI app, Cursor, Anti-Gravity will pick up agents.md and automatically attach it to your AI agent, whichever model you're using, to their context. So they'll follow it. Except Claude. For Claude, you have to write claude.md, which is a pain. So I usually do a symbolic link. So there is a claude.md. It looks like there is claude.md, but it isn't. It's just pointing back to agents.md. And this is made part of the code base. I commit it and keep it with the code base and share it with my team when I'm writing code, worth sharing. And this is where all of it goes. And it comes back to the same question that whether you're writing these guidelines, okay, or documentation, or you are prompting the AI to make some changes, like on this page. All right. My question is, how would you write the prompt? How would you write the prompt? Can you please share your agents.md? I can try that towards the end. Answer MCPs more. Okay. Claude.md. They can also be Python file, right? Agent.py. I mean, no. It's a markdown file for all sorts of projects. Where is this stored? On GitHub? Is this something like README? Yeah, it's README, but for AI agents. How many of you would write documentation agents.md and prompt this change using another AI? Use AI to prompt for AI. How many of you would do this? Honest yes or no? How many of you would do this? Honest yes or no? Okay. And I'm here to tell you, if you've been doing this, please don't do this. Like, it's better you don't prompt the AI than do this. It is really, really bad. In fact, each agent.md, okay, that is there, each line here is written by hand. There are few things worth writing yourself. Documentation is definitely one of them, and specifically agents.md. Do not ask an AI to write this. You will end up with double slop. Slop is what AI produces without proper guidance and steering, like average person's output. If you don't want slop, if you don't want to end up in like crazy places where you didn't want, and if you want exactly the kind of output, like not land up here where I'm never get what I want and I'm always close but never there, you are most likely using AI to prompt for AI, and that is what is getting you stuck. Why? Trust me, like it is extremely painful what AI will prompt it to itself, because it will double down on what it usually does, and its blind spots will remain blind spots, and the outcome will be just crazy. In fact, let me do that. Let me ask here Codex, okay, the better one at coding. Can you write updated agents.md depending on best practices, etc. In fact, there's no agents.md in our folder, milestone, flow. So it's kind of, you know, writing it for the first time. And I'm asking it to write it. So let's see what it writes. And you will see the quality of it go down. This is a very, very important part. And usually what I do is when I see AI going wrong and fundamentally wrong, like it took a turn which I never ever wanted it to. For example, it did a migration which deleted data. Okay. Like big sin. I don't go and like rest of the folks which I've seen, what they do is they will go here. It has done some mess up and they will type here and try to get it to fix it. You can do that. It will take you 10, 20, 30 times and then you will give up. Or what I do is I go back to agents.md and I'm usually reviewing what here caused this to do. Like, why did it like act out that way? And if I don't want it to do something, I will usually add another rule. Most of my rule are like do not, do not, do not, do not. Okay. Some rules are of course do. And I can tell you my biggest what irritates me the most. And those patterns you can see right here. If you want, I can share this later on with you. And this is, how I use it. And then I use Git. I will revert the changes and I will write my prompt again after fixing my agents.md. It has just added agents.md for us. Let's see what it wrote. I'll click here and it wrote prime directive, do not print, etc. environment file, which is fine. I would have written that as well. It has given us a stack, not bad. Important paths, local commands, okay, environment and setup, fine. Super base rules, keep owner scope access intact, okay, and target migration as a source of, and there is nothing about preserving data during migration. There's nothing about like how migration should be written and validated. There's nothing about what practices should be followed. For example, never ever lose data during migration. There's nothing about that. What are we using to generate migrations? Who writes migrations? In front-end conventions, it has a lot of stuff in there, which is appreciable, but it has no, idea of backend server components or like, client-rendered components. What services are we using? How are we doing API calls? What are we using for hooks? Are we using React query or are we using something else? How does backend and frontend exactly talk to each other? What are the guidelines for the API? All of that is missing. Agent edge function is there, fine. CORS is there, but where are the guidelines for how to protect the key? And then again, we have repetition of some, slop. And you can see like I would not, and you can see RLS again repeated here, and RLS is here as well. So it's just redundant, blabbery, what I call pure AI slop. I would not write half of these things here, and I would not explain or set guidelines and standards like this. Design standards are missing. It mentioned the library for font, the icons, but where is the font settings and font guidelines and how much spacing to keep with each other? Where is all of that? Where is the code style guide? None of that it would cover because it's blind spot. Of course, I can prompt it to cover, or I can write it myself. And I usually do write it myself. And I use another trick to know when they are following my guidelines and when they're not following my guidelines. And the times I have caught them not following my guidelines is damn crazy. And if you want to know, I can show you like how that kind of works. My favorite way, if you want to prompt for the changes for this part, prompting AI for changes, I would suggest, go voice. Give it a lot of context. And usually when you talk, you will give far more context than when you are not talking. So, I will go here and I will, this is our website, you know, terminal, and I will ask it to make design changes to this website. But I will just talk out loud instead of and it works actually better than anything else. Once again, I have my voice recorder. You can use a ton of tools for this. I wanted to change the design fundamentally. And first of all, I want you to use Fira Sans as the font. And also check out the skill for Fira Sans and actually do it without looking at the skill first. And I want you to typeset it appropriately. Then definitely use 16 pixel as the base font size. Add some nice gradient and animations, but keep it very subtle. I also need texture, throughout the website. So add those details. Make this website entirely about, building with AI and using AI to do build end-to-end software. And how you can do that and tips around that. And now it will convert it to text, and I will send that. Right now, I'm asking it to use a particular font called Fira Sans. Right now, we will see how it uses the font out of the box. And I want to take this opportunity to show you and demonstrate to you what we call skills. Okay, it misunderstood Fira Sans. I will correct it. Fira Sans. There you go. And I have personally created a skill for Fira Sans. In fact, that's how Claude was able to use it. And, skills can be uploaded in a lot of places. For example, I can go here and skills were started by Claude. And I have the Fira Sans skill right here. This is Fira Sans typography. What skills are they are just documentation markdown files. But please double cross check because they can have executable code as well. I know it's super crazy, but these are the files that I have. I only either create my own skills or download from official sources. This one I can download or copy right from here. I will download this and I can use this skill and apply the skill in Codex as well. I can go to Codex or I can actually, use the skill here as well. Let's see if it has access to that skill. Okay, it does not. Skills. Let's find the skills. This is synced with my Claude, so I can directly pick it from there. Okay, I don't think that skill is here. And all I need to do to install is there is a folder .claude and .agents, .claude and .agents. And inside that there's a skill folder, and I just have to make sure that that folder exists here. So I will just do a quick symbolic link to install it. There you go. And I will copy that over to Claude skills. We have to first make Claude skills. I'm making a folder, and now I will just install that skill. You can use the link that I shared with you. It will help you install that as well. Now it's installed. I think it would be done by now. Let's see how it changed the design. There you go. The design is changed. Design is changed, but that is not the font I'm looking for. That is not at all the font that I'm looking for. Okay, and I think it's not that great honestly. I'm not very happy with it. So now I'm going to restart Claude. Let's exit, restart Claude. And now Firasan skill should be there. You have skill created in place. Yeah, or you can just ask Claude to create skill. 250 lines per file feels too less, right? Can I convert PRD into an empty file and provide? Yes, you can have stacks of files as well. Can you give an example of use AI to prompt for AI? I did, and that was pretty bad. Not able to understand anything. What are you saying? Which word did you not understand? So in case you want to create your own skill, you can prompt literally any of the AIs. They will create a skill for you. You can prompt, Codex, you can prompt Claude. What it is doing is it's right now going through my entire code base. It's trying to understand how that font is being used. And I've given it a specific skill to be able to utilize, this particular font. And you will see the drastic difference between this, what we have here, and the difference between this and the other font that we use. It's very subtle for people who are not from design background, but the rest of you will see. And there are a ton of, key problems that I can see. All right. Now it's going to make changes, and I'm going to allow to make all the changes. How can we prompt better? Use your voice. Give it a lot more context. Prompt it like you would prompt a human being. Just blabber, that's completely fine. You don't have to make it perfect. But don't use another AI to prompt another AI. It usually doesn't end well, like I demonstrated. And how big or small agents.md should be? I usually keep it within 300 to 400 lines. 300 to 400. There you go. It screwed up the design, but this is the font. Do you see the font difference, folks? Can you read it now? That is the real font. And all I needed to do was just bring in the skill, and it knew how to work with this font. That is the power of skill. Same thing I can do with libraries, with different software. And once again, I review all the skills myself because it has a lot of crap code there as well. This is now I can create 100 new websites and use the skill everywhere, and it will know exactly what to do to improve its output. Just it already looks so much better, right? I mean, there's an empty space right here, and I can definitely take a screenshot and ask it to fix it. Let's do that. All right, that did not get caught. I'll just tell it. There is too much space in above headline in hero section. Fix it. And give me better animations in background. Very good. Summarizing all the changes it did. And I'm asking it for one more change. While it changes this, let's take a look back at the thing we were doing, which is looking at don't do this. And what I would suggest is either you manually write the prompt, or just speak, blabber, voice note. When you send a voice note to a friend, you blabber all over the place. I call it mind dump or brain dump. Just do that, and it does a really great job of taking that as a prompt. Don't turn this is much better way of manually write. This is what I do: manually write the documentation, and all rest of it is prompts from here. And this is always manually written as well. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Honestly, these are the secrets to steer AI. I can now get it to write tests, get it to do a lot of that stuff as well. I can also push this to GitHub and get code reviews and code quality reviews. Of course, I can use skills to get the code reviewed right here and now, or I can do a pull request and get other special agents like CodeRabbit to review. For example, I can say, can you prepare a pull request on GitHub? Use a branch to do that. Okay. I'm just asking it to do that and to create a PR for me. And then I will show you how I attach my different various, specialized agents, including Copilot and CodeRabbit, to do code review. And then I can ask Codex here to pull the comments another AI had on code review and automatically start to sort them out. All right. While that happens, let's quickly take a look at, this website. Finally, the spacing is fixed. The animation is not crazy, but I'm happy, much happier. And you saw how precise control I got about it. And you can get far more precise control if you, the further you're willing to guide it and specify. And in case you don't want to keep specifying, do it once, turn it into a skill and use it everywhere. Right. And this skill, for example, I can share with my team, and everybody has this skill, by the way, was built by our design team because they were tired of looking at really bad font and typesetting. So now they just pass it around and everybody has so much better like looking pages and typography that it's insane. And similarly, engineering team can pass around, skills for specific libraries, for specific integrations. And they can also pass around skill for doing specific activity like how to do code review and testing and how to run the CI/CD pipeline and how to optimize that. While it does that, let's quickly take a look at what this one is doing. Listing files, etc. Either I can wait for it or I can do it myself, honestly. So tempted to do it myself. For example, I can click this button, create pull request, and it will do that. Why not? I should just do that. I think I have to branch it first. Okay, I'll ask it, create a branch and commit. I will push. Does Claude Code Terminal has permission to access entire file system? Usually it has, it will ask for permission for the folder that you begin it in. If you begin it at your, system root, then yes, it will have access to the entire root, which you should not do. The rules and skills are not very. Rules are something you want in every session. You want it to remember every single time. You don't want it to forget. Skills are only brought sometime. For example, not every single time it's working on font. So I don't need to put it in rules and it will just waste context. So those are put in skills. Temporary items in skills, things you need every single time. That is what goes in the rules. There you go. It is ready. And I can now click on create pull request and I will create PR. All right. And once the PR is created, we'll get a link and we'll go browse it. And I will show you how I get code reviews done. In fact, what I'm going to tell, because we wanted DevOps, etc., and taking it live also, I'm super tempted to, do that. In fact, let's quickly do that. I will ask Codex to do that because Codex will be faster. We'll take the safe one, the static website online, because that's safer, much safer. I want to deploy this on Vercel. Vercel deploy. Can you prepare it for that? Let's take this website live right in front of you as we speak. All right, looks like it is done. I can check the thing on GitHub. I don't know why it's not allowing me to click that. Very strange. Let's go and check it on browser. There you go. And right there in my repos, I will have milestone flow. And I would have PR right here. Oh, there's no PR. Oh, there you go. I have to create a pull request because it did not have access to GitHub. I have to authorize it and I can create the pull request. I have automation set up from CodeRabbit. There's Greptile as well. They both work great. CodeRabbit, in fact, there you go. CodeRabbit is like waiting for status. You'll see a comment from it. Optionally, I can also request Copilot to do a code review. and I will do that. I'll request for it, and I can add more agents here to allow to do the allow them to do code review. I can also, I think, tag codex here, and it will do like review for me. I just not set it up, and we will see. There you go. The first comment from Code Rabbit is right here, and then later we will see more stuff. Coming in once it's done. It'll take some time. And once again, what I can do is I can ask Codex to get the feedback from PR and fix those issues and keep doing this till we become ready for deployment. All right. And there's some checks pending. As you can see, I can catch the status here of CodeRabbit as well. They are all deeply integrated with each other, which is super fun. And ready plus preview. Yeah. Local system fallback, vendor local font file, keep Google fonts. Yeah. All right, we'll wait for that to happen. And last part is just me deploying this. And a couple of tips I want to share, which are completely unheard of, that like will make your life super easy if you're dealing with AI, especially if you want majority of the code to be written by AI. Okay, these are my super secret tips. First and important, foremost, project structure, define it. Okay, especially folders. Do not allow it to create folders without permission. Otherwise, you will have a component folder in every folder. Trust me, like it goes out of hands very fast. Second, second thing, never exceed 250 lines of code on any file. Trust me, the moment you go outside this, it will act so dumb. You will ask it to change one line, it will keep forgetting to change one line, make syntax mistake. It's just not worth it. You will organize your project differently because you're limited to 50 lines of code, but it really helps. Second, bring in type safety and type checking and schemas, type checking or schemas, whatever, etc. I would recommend Pydantic on Python. I would recommend Zod on TypeScript, and use TypeScript type. Just don't use any. They really help. If you can combine the front end, back end language and make it into a monorepo, monorepos win outright. Monorepos are so back. Using monorepos will like set you so it's just really worth it and good. You can add something called as hooks. Every single time it makes a change, you can run linter automatically and do that. Run linter automatically. On once again on Python, I would recommend rough, and on ESLint for TypeScript. Use this, it will save you so much time. You can give it instructions to test it, okay, before it comes to you. It can do that on CLI, it can do that using browser, it can do that using curl. There are so many ways to test it. You can connect MCP and it will be able to test everything. Get it to test before it even tells you that it is done with something else. And put a requirement that you have to pass the test, all the existing tests. Whatever breaks, you have to make sure you pass without touching and modifying the test itself, right? And spend time on planning and details. Last but not the least, please blabber to your AI. It will produce far better results. Just even if you do random rambling, it will produce far better results. Just by the way, we will start seeing code comments come in. It will take some time. I think Copilot will also take some time. It depends on which tier you are on. I'm on free tier, so it takes a little bit longer. But eventually, we will see code comments, etc., coming to the view. It is ready with, I think, the plan, and I wanted to take live. And soon, in a couple of seconds, we'll be live as well. But just to circle back, we saw it build landing pages. All right, we saw, where did it go? Yeah, we saw it build a mini app prototype, which was a dream, which would have like cost real valuable bandwidth back in the day. We saw it, take something from Lovable, run on my local app, make design changes, make functionality changes. We saw how we were able to get here. It added some login layer as well. I was asking about login to it, right? What happened to the login? Let me quickly check. What is the login exactly? I think it was right here. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask it login detail. By the way, our first PR for Code Rapid is ready. Apparently, we have, you know, authentication users create invite link and password. Okay, I have to go to Superbase Auth. So I'll have to log into Superbase Auth and there I can set my, all of this. It connected it, I guess, thanks to Lovable. Okay, I'll go to dashboard. And that should, I don't know which one it is. Projects usage integration. Don't know which one it is. I'll have to go back to its instructions. Superbase dashboard authentication users for which project? Project is pause, pause, pause. All of them are paused. Very strange. Maybe I'm on the wrong page. Oh, okay. So it is not here. It is here. Unlovable. And users. Auth. Okay. There is not one. So I'll have to ask it for sign up. Give me a sign up page. Denied request ran 2 commands. Come on, let's get it live. I think it's going to struggle with Versal Auth. Meanwhile, I'll quickly take question. Is it possible we will get ready for reference handout in this session, please? Yes. Type checking is a system. Yeah. Whole text is not visible. Please zoom out. Sure. What is type checking? It checks whether your variables, like if you're supposed to send a number, it makes sure you only send a number. It'll cry if you send text there, right? Can you please tell me the difference between agents.py and there is no such thing as agents.py that I am aware of. Agents.md is the standard for all agentic AI tools and coding. Can development related infrastructure can be in skill.md? Yeah, it can be. Have you seen PyRFly? No. Do we need Claude Pro for using Claude to this level? Yes, you would need it. You would need it. I mean, you would need it to use it at this level. Otherwise, what team is answering is correct. You don't need it every single time. To get started, you won't need it. All right. This is what's telling me to do to deploy. Let me run that command. Okay. I have to authenticate and then it should be good to go. Waiting for authentication. Okay. I hope it doesn't ask me for these digits. Yeah, it will ask me. Okay. I'm just logged in for free account with Versal. Looks like it is done. Come on, last few seconds. It just has to deploy. Connected, uploading. Come on, let's see the website. All right, looks like we are live. Deployment is building. This is a static website, which is safer to publish. So I did that one. We can log into Versal and see how long will it take. Usually it doesn't take very long. It's a simple website. Creating an optimized production build, running TypeScript, collecting page data under one worker, and I think we are almost done. Can you show again what did you do in Codex? Like implement plan, this is the way to implement plan. This plus button and then plan mode. I think we are ready. There you go, folks. This website was published was built right in front of your eyes, was designed in front of your eyes, and I'm sharing the link. You can check it out. It's live right in front of your eyes. I published a simple one because security takes a long time. And with that, I hope I was able to show you a good tour of the entire software workflow. We went through code review, we kind of did testing. Now CI/CD, you can automate a lot of it. Very like similarly, there are special plugins for that. And we also did DevOps without even looking into it, though you can get it even more complex, even including deploying databases, running, build scripts. Ton of customization is available. Just last step before I leave, if you are on TypeScript, do check out Bun. Especially for dependency, etc. It's super fast. If you are on Python, do check out UV. It will really sort your life out, and you can thank me later. Once again, I hope you will have much better, exciting time using AI to write and build software. I hope I was able to show you the ton of software that I have been building. In the last 1 year, I've written more lines of software than my entire life, than I've done in my entire lifetime. By the way, we have code reviews from Copilot ready. And just to let you know that I'm not lying that I've written so much code in last 1 year, I just want to show you, do you see that GitHub graph? Yeah, it has never been this green in any of the past years, right? I can go back to the history, and I never got to write that much code as I've written in this single year alone. And I hope you have as much fun building with AI as I do. And back to you.
Perfect. I think, Siddharth, a good 90-minute sprint. We'll take